Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my divisional round matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report of the Detroit Lions. Defensive lineman Pat O'Connor with a calf injury, and guard Kevin Zeitler with a hamstring injury, both out for the game. Cornerback Ennis Rakestraw Jr. with a hamstring and an illness. He is questionable for the game. Then we move on to cornerback Terrion Arnold with a foot injury and running back David Montgomery with a knee injury. Now, I believe the defense is definitely in question here. Obviously, not having Aiden Hutchinson, not having Pat O'Connor, and potentially not having Ennis Rakestraw Jr., which is what I expect to happen. This is going to be tough for the defense, although the Detroit Lions honestly do have a chance because I do believe some players are returning from injury, so there is that. But I still, in fact, believe that their injuries are going to hamper the defense over the offense. So Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, they're all going to make their names known today. So defensively, the Lions aren't going to be there, but offensively is another story. Now, moving on to the offense, we got quarterback Jared Goff, running back Jahmyr Gibbs, wide receivers Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Tim Patrick. Tight end Sam Laporta, left tackle Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow as the left guard, Frank Ragnow as center, right guard is Kayonde Awosika. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he's the one replacing Kevin Zeitler, with right tackle being Penei Sewell. Now, when it comes down to this offensive line, maybe they're going to have a bit of a trouble at the right guard position, but other than that, the Lions are going to be perfect. So, yes, and most likely we're going to be seeing a little bit of Sam Laporta, a little bit of Jameson Williams, and a lot of St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, and even David Montgomery. Jared Goff is going to be lighting it up, but we're also going to be seeing a very good running game from Gibbs and Montgomery. So, honestly, the only issue is, can the offensive line block enough for the runners to get the holes, and can they block enough for Jared Goff to have enough time to get to his receivers and tight ends? Now, moving on to the defense, we got Za'Darius Smith and Josh Pascal as the defensive ends. Defensive tackles Levi Onwuzurike and DJ Reader. Weak side linebacker is Trevor Nowaske, with inside linebacker Jack Campbell and Ezekiel Turner at strong side linebacker. Meek Robertson and Terrion Arnold will be the corners. Brian Branch, the nickelback. Kirby Joseph, the free safety. And Ifetu Melifonwu will be the strong safety. Now, when it comes to the defense, we're going to have a little bit of an issue. They're still very good, so there is a chance, but it's honestly very hampered. So they're going up against an offense led by rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. So there's that. They're also going up against Brian Robinson. In that backfield, Terry McLaurin at wide receiver, along with Dayum Brown and Zach Ertz. That offensive line is pretty good too, so they're going to go up against that. So as long as they can get the pressure with Smith, Pascal, and Turner, and maybe a little bit of Trevor as well, with the interior defensive lineman making at least the blocking in the holes there in the, like, around the inside the guards and centers type of runs, maybe the inside zones and all that. In the end, it all really comes down to that. Plus, can Robertson or Arnold be able to take down either Brown or McLaurin in this game? Now, moving on to the injury report of the Washington Commanders, we got linebacker Jordan McGee with a hamstring injury. He is out for this game. Then moving on to Colson Yankoff with a hamstring injury, and linebacker Michael Walker with an illness, both questionable for the game. Then moving on to wide receiver Jamison Crowder with a hamstring injury, tight end Zach Ertz with a rib injury, defensive end Cleveland Farrell with a knee injury, linebacker Bobby Wagner with an ankle injury, kicker Zane Gonzalez with a hip injury, defensive tackle Daron Payne with a finger injury, tight end Ben Sinnott with a shoulder injury, tight end John Bates with a shoulder injury, safety Dominique Hampton with a back injury, cornerback Marshawn Lattimore with a hamstring injury, linebacker Frankie Louvu with a shoulder injury. Then we get tackle Brandon Coleman with a shoulder injury, and wide receiver KJ Osborne with a finger injury. Now, when it comes down to it, I honestly believe that the Washington Commanders will be hampered on the defensive side. First of all, Colson is not even the third string tight end, so it's mostly for depth reasons. But losing McGee and potentially Michael Walker, which I don't expect that he'll be out, neither him or Colson, in the end, I think that their defensive woes are on par. Maybe not as much as Detroit, but definitely it's going to be a tough game defensively for both teams. But in the end, it really all comes down to which defense can actually stop the opposing offense, because both offenses are pretty good and both defenses are pretty injured. Now, moving on to the offense of the Washington Commanders, starting with quarterback Jaden Daniels, running back Brian Robinson Jr., wide receivers Terry McLaurin, Olamide Zacchaeus, and Diem Brown, with tight end Zach Ertz and left tackle Brandon Coleman, Nick Algeretti at left guard, center Tyler Biadasz, I think that's how you say it, and right guard Sam Cosmi with Andrew Wiley at right tackle. Now, when it comes down to this offense, it's going to have a very good time in the offensive line. I think that without, obviously, Hutchinson there at the pass rush, it's going to still be a problem with Smith and Turner and all those guys there in the pass rush. But still, I think they're going to do a lot better than they would have if Hutchinson was on that line. But then you got Brown and McLaurin and Robinson in that backfield. Jaden Daniels has been pretty good. He might win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. So in the end, I'm thinking, my thoughts are that this offense, led by Jaden Daniels, will do a pretty good job against that defense of the Detroit Lions. Now, moving on to the defense of the Washington Commanders, starting with defensive ends Clelin Ferrell and Dorrance Armstrong. Defensive tackles are Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Weak side linebacker Frankie Louvu with inside linebacker Bobby Wagner. Strong side linebacker Dante Fowler Jr. Cornerbacks Benjamin St. Jude and Marshawn Lattimore. Mike St. Ristil at nickelback. I don't know if I said that correctly, but Quan Martin will be the free safety and Jeremy Chin the strong safety. Now, when it comes down to the defense of the Commanders, like I said, it's kind of injured. So there's that. But they've got Fowler, they got Armstrong, they got Payne, and they got Allen. Clelin Ferrell, more 50-50 for him. But the rest of those guys, you got pass rush with Armstrong and Fowler. And you got the two interior defensive linemen in Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, who will pressure that offensive line, especially that new guard that the Lions are putting in. I'm not going to say his name again, but you know who I'm talking about. In the end, it also, you got a very good linebacking core with Lou, Wagner, and Fowler, and pretty good cornerback in Marshawn Lattimore, and a pretty decent cornerbacks as well in St. Jude and Mike. Quan Martin and Chin are pretty good in the secondary as well. But in my opinion, I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of the pass game being won by the Detroit Lions on this defense, because honestly, you got Amon-Ra, you got too many guys to cover. Maybe you get Amon-Ra on Lattimore, maybe closes it out a little bit, but still, you got tight end Laporta, you got Tim Patrick, you got Jameson Williams, you got a bunch of guys who can catch the ball. So realistically, it's not going to be that good for the secondary of the Commanders, but it's going to be a pretty good run stop for the Commanders, although they might actually get screwed over at the end of the game with the run game. Now, in conclusion, I have the Washington Commanders losing 24-29 to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions advance to the NFC title game. Honestly, It's going to be a game-winning touchdown run from who? None other than David Montgomery. That's what's going to win it. They're going to get the 6 points to win the game. Boom, game over. And honestly, it's going to be a pretty good game from both teams. But in the end, it's going to falter for the Washington Commanders. And we're going to be seeing a Detroit Lions defense and a Detroit Lions offense be going to the NFC Championship game for the second consecutive year. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Comment down below any video ideas along on my Instagram, as I no longer will be using X. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.